This is Max Williams with United Real Estate, and today I'm in Western Henrico. More specifically, I am off the Parham Road corridor, and today we're going to take a look at a 4-bedroom, 3 full bath brick rancher. This brick rancher was built in about 1956. It's coming in just a sliver under 2,000 square feet, and it features a finished basement. For my viewers up north or from up north, I know you guys really love basements, and this home definitely delivers. If you're a big fan of brick, this home is brick on all 4 sides, and we typically don't see that in this price range because builders today, they just have found it not beneficial to go through the expense of brick, and therefore you will typically have vinyl or some other type of siding on most newer homes today that are ranch style. Okay, as we come in, I can see that they have done a new renovation. This home has been opened up. From a floor plan standpoint, I just spoke with the owner a few minutes ago. He was sharing with me that they have a newer gas furnace. Of course, this home has central air, gas log fireplace, and replacement windows. The floors in here are absolutely beautiful. They did a really nice job with the kitchen as well. Look at that complement of cabinetry right there, in addition to the 42-inch maple cabinets, the granite countertop, and the stainless steel appliances. We got nice open space here. This is a material here that really sets off this floor nicely. Let's pop out the side here, take a look. They wrap the deck around, and we've got a nice private backyard. We're sitting on about 1/4 of an acre, just to give you an idea. In today's business climate, we have what we call a seller's market. In other words, there are more buyers than there is inventory. And when that happens, we often have a situation referred to as multiple offers. Multiple offers are an interesting scenario for buyers and sellers alike. And there are a couple of tips if you find yourself in a seller's market and you are a buyer. A couple things to remember. First thing is competition. There is competition, and if you were going to make an offer, typically it's going to have to be a stronger offer compared to if there was no competition. Number 2, price isn't everything. Sometimes terms are more important than price. I'll give you an example. If someone has to sell a home and then immediately move to another home that they're going to purchase, in many cases they will need the cash from that sale in order to make the next deal work. In that scenario, I'm going to take you guys down to the basement here before we go to the rest of the bedrooms. In that scenario, the terms, the logistics of how they're going to move out and then go to the next one and make the money work is important, because in many cases they will need to do what we call a sale leaseback. They will sell the home to you and then they'll rent it back for 4 or 5 days so they have time to use that cash to close on the next house. Now, what would happen is if a buyer's agent, the agent that represents you as the buyer, is smart, they will ask some questions up front. I just went through this with a transaction, and in some cases, if there are competing offers, it's not always the cash that wins. Sometimes it's the one that has the terms that is most beneficial. So those are important things to remember. Secondly, it's important to keep in mind that there are some other factors that come into play that people, in many cases, don't even think about. An agent's job, both from the buyers and the seller standpoint, is to do a few things. Number 1, it's to get the best price and terms possible for their client. Of course, if you're the buyer, obviously you want to get it as cheap as possible. If you're the seller, you're trying to do just the opposite. The other thing that both agents are trying to do is to protect their clients in the process. Okay, there are things that a buyer's agent can do and a listing agent can do to make sure that their client is as protected as possible in the transaction. Let me give you another example. When it comes to lending, typically a requirement for any offer to be considered is going to be a pre-qualification or pre-approval letter. That letter can come from a local lending institution that has a good, solid record, a loan officer that has 20 plus years in the business, or it could come from bobshomeloans.com. Unfortunately, no one knows Bob, and no one knows about his track record or his history, or even his company for that matter. When the listing agent receives that offer, he or she is going to look at it and say, well, gee, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, we don't have any idea of what Bob can do, or if he's legitimate, if he's ethical, if he's honest, if he can perform. Therefore, they will most likely discount Bob's ability to do it and go with the local lender that they have a solid track record with. My job as a buyer's agent is to make sure that the listing agent knows the lenders I deal with are all legitimate, they are well established, have great reputations, and in many cases in the realtor community, they're household names. That gives them a level of comfort, which in turn gives the seller a level of comfort and increases the possibility that my offer is going to be accepted over another offer. Another thing that is common when we see multiple offer scenarios is a smart agent, an experienced agent, may suggest that their client do what we call an escalation clause. An escalation clause basically says that we will offer X number of dollars over the highest offer, and of course we put a ceiling on that. And what that does is that almost guarantees us getting the home, assuming that the maximum that we are offering is higher than the maximum that anybody else has offered. So it's a way to kind of hedge your bet, so to speak, when you're making an offer. Okay, this is our final bathroom. There used to be a tub here, and they just went ahead and opened it up and made it a walk-in shower. Notice the dual shower heads, and studies have shown that individuals that utilize dual shower heads typically come out about 50% cleaner than those that don't. So it's a good idea, especially with these hot Virginia summers, to make sure that you have a dual shower head, if at all possible. Me as a single man, I make sure that I definitely use that double shower head. Okay, if you have any questions about this or any other home in the market, make sure you give me a call. I can be reached at 804-402-7788 on Facebook. I can be reached under Richmond Area Foreclosures on YouTube under my name, Max Williams Realtor. Thanks so much for taking the tour. Have a great day.